Hello and welcome to a brand new video. Today we are doing our March favorites. So since March has come to an end, I just thought I'd do another March favorites. But upon writing down everything, I realized there isn't actually that much. Like, that's about it. This is probably going to be the shortest favorites list there is. But a lot of it is music. So, did my voice ring? But a lot of it is music. So let's get started. It's only right we start the list off with music. So to start off the music list, we've got the song Lost and Found by Isaac Delusion. This is a nice song. It just popped up on my radio and I saved it straight away. Like, it's so chill, but kinda electronic. So it's like chill electronic. And the lyrics are pretty sad as well, but it's a bop. That's all I need to know. If it sounds good, I like. So yeah. Next is Visions by Tampo. Pretty much roughly the same types of vibes that the Isaac Delusion song gives. So instant like the thing is, my radio played it back to back on Spotify, so I was in heaven. I was just like, ooh, I like, ooh, I like. So yeah. Next is the song American. I might have to blur that out. By Between Friends. This song specifically was played at the Conan Gray opening show and it wasn't actually released, so it was an unreleased song. And I really, really liked it. And I thought they released it by then, but they didn't. So now that it's out, it's an instant like, because I did like it when it was a thing. So yeah. This is very teen angst-ish, but kind of that type of vibe. Teen bop. That's the word for it. Teen bop. Next, we got the song Hazel Eyes by Kids Not Saints. This is a weird one. It kind of feels like an old school song, like old type of melody, but with modern production. So yeah, it was nice. It was a nice sound to it. And finally on the music list, we've got Conan Gray by, what's it called? Is it? What's the song called? Give me a second, I'll be right back. Found the song's name. Song's name is Bed Rest by Conan Gray. So this is a new release, but kind of an old song. So what happened was, for the 5th anniversary of his album Kid Krow, which was the other day, he released a Voltage song that didn't actually make the album. And he released it. And it's really nice. It's kind of eerie though, like it's eerie, that's the best way of explaining it. It's a bit scary, gloomy, slow, kind of lullaby-ish, but the best way to explain it is eerie. And with that 5-year anniversary, he released a live version of The Cut That Always Bleeds and the live version of Heather with the lost verse, like the verse he didn't use. See, I really like that version of the song, and again, we heard it live at the concert and it wasn't officially released on Spotify or anything, but now it is. So yeah. We now move on to fashion. Fashion for this month, literally nothing. We've only got one item, and that item on the list are these. These are my new shoes. These are the Onitsuka Tigers. This is the SD version as well, so it's like the yellow ones that I wear, but it is like a vintage color, so it's got some suede and it's got like a vintage cream with like a vintage rest with a vintage red. Because there's some suede in it, it feels kind of tighter than usual. So it did kind of agitate my heel a little bit, but I suppose with the breaking in and the suede getting softer and molding to your feet, it should be easier. So yeah, they feel a bit more stiff than the ones I have. But the ones I have actually done pretty well. These are the ones I have. Same thing, SD version. But I just think it was made a bit different because of the leather. So it was like soft, subtle, like it was just soft. Not much breaking in needed. These have done me really well. So basically, they were my everyday shoes for the whole year basically. And it's slowly time to retire them. They haven't fallen apart yet, but yeah. So I used to be a Converse kid, so I just used to wear Converses all the time, every time, all day. But they just kept falling apart. So it's good to pay a bit more of a premium for something that won't actually fall apart in a year. And yeah, so I think these are slowly going to be my everyday shoes, but they're just quite stiff at the moment. I really like these. I really like honor stickers. Yeah, I don't tie the top bit because I don't know why. I just don't like that bit. I just normally do one hit down. And that was it for fashion. We move on to movies or entertainment. Same thing applies for here. The month of March has been kinda slow. There hasn't been much discovering or anything. But the one film that I did put onto my favorites is Grease. So Grease is just a classic, and it's a classic for a reason. And I rewatched it this month, and it still hits like it always does. I love it. It's kind of like, if you think about it, it's kind of like the original High School Musical, because they're in high school kids and it's a musical, but with a different era. Something hit me as well while I was watching this. It's a movie made in the 70s, based in the 50s. So the time gap there is kind of like us now making a movie based in the 2000s. Yeah, it just seems a bit weird, but yeah. Great movie, great songs. My favorite song from that movie has to be Sandy. You know when John Travolta sings about Sandy Lilligan? I like it. The one in the open movie theater. I know the lyrics from start to end. Just my favorite song from the whole thing. Finally, we move on to our randoms, aka our miscellaneous. So to start off this list is an old PlayStation 3 game called Infamous. So with this game, growing up, I was kind of intrigued about it because it was a big game. It was like the PlayStation game. It was a big game. But I was actually kind of scared from the cover. I don't know why. I just looked at the cover. I'm like, yeah, this looks like a scary game. But turns out it's not. It's basically a third-person shooter. Premises of the game is basically you get these powers. Kind of the city goes sideways and there's like different factions of gangs and stuff. And you're kind of trying to discover why you got these powers and how you got these powers. But the interesting part of this is that there's a gauge, like a moral gauge. So you could either be infamous, which is basically villain, straight up villainy, or you can play the game Heroes. And depending on how you decide, it affects the ending of the game and everything. So you get choices. And the kind of core part of that system, you don't have to physically wait for these choices to pop up and down. So let's say you're fighting enemies. Of course, you're gonna spam the shooting button because you've got unlimited ammo, especially when it comes to your normal lightning shots. But if you hit a civilian and here and there, sometimes you could actually bring the gauge quite down. Like you could play around with the gauge. So that's pretty cool. The only thing I have about this game is actually two things. It was in that era when everyone actually was obsessed with that open world map type of thing. So you have to kind of run across from one side of the map to the other map, and the more you progress with your powers, the game somehow launches more and more people trying to kill you. So you're on the way to your mission, and then there's just people there shooting and just shooting bazookas and this and that. And my second thing is, it's a weird way to play. It's kind of like to progress in the story. You do these missions, but they feel like side missions. So like climbing up these towers, hacking into these like surveillance stuff, and opening up the electricity grid of the new thing. It's kind of like repetitive stuff in order for you to continue with the story. But the thing is, this is the main story for the time being. But other than that, I've been enjoying it. It's good. It's fun. Sometimes it can be much, especially when you're just spamming and then there's explosions. It can be a tad bit much, but I'm enjoying it and I can't wait to play the second one. And our final thing on our March favorites is this book, but specifically the audiobook. But more specifically is the audiobook I came across on TikTok. So some lady, she used AI to make an audiobook of Robert Pattinson's character as Edward reading this. So I think there's only 2 chapters out at the moment of the audiobook. So it's basically Edward reading this book, and it fits so well since this whole book is about Edward's perspective of the Twilight books. Since the Twilights were all in Bella's perspective, except for like Bella's pregnancy, which was all Jacob's perspective. But it's just so cool hearing the movie Edward read this book. It's nice, even though I'm on like the first 2 chapters, that experience alone is good enough for it to be on my favorites list. And it's quite a good book because it gives you like that dynamic of you see what was behind Edward's thoughts and everything. And there's like some stuff going on in this, and you're like, oh yeah, this is when it happened type of thing. And yeah, that's it. That's my March favorites for this year. Yeah, it was a short one. There wasn't actually much going on this month, especially with like buying and exploring. It just was quite a chill one. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you want, in the comments down below, write down what your favorites have been for this month. I'm actually quite intrigued to see. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.